chairs are just sitting on right now.
Welcome to One Chair Podcast. Fun things first. What you're about to hear is not financial advice. This is only for educational and entertainment purposes only. Okay, Quentin is on vacation, so we won't see him this week. I'll be hosting by myself, but he might come on if there's breaking news, so we'll see what happens over the week. Okay, today I want to start talking about STRC. Just maybe as a quick reminder, Stretch or STRC is the latest perpetual preferred from Strategy. It's a bit like a stablecoin. It should be priced between 99 and 101 US dollars. The dividends are paid monthly and the current dividend rate sits at 9%. The dividend rate is not fixed and can be increased or decreased by Strategy to help adjust the price. First, I want to start talking a little bit about trading volumes. And why is that important, you might ask? So Strategy's ATMs that are deployed are always based on the trading volumes. Michael Saylor mentioned various times that the ATM on the common share, for example, so MSTR, is only hit on 2% of the total volume traded. I haven't confirmed this, but I assume that this is also the case for the other preferreds as well. So the ATMs basically are very dependent on those volumes traded. It's not only about the price action. So this is the first full week of trading for STRC since its IPO on July 29. And so we can start analyzing some of the data. So first of all, among the 4 strategy products, STRF, STRK, STRD, and STRC, it was STRC that debuted with the largest offering. And here maybe I can show a quick chart where you can see the IPOs of all 4 products, going from the first one, STRK, to the last one, STRC. And you can see that STRC is 2.5 times bigger than the largest, the second largest, which was STRD with 1 billion. You can see that STRC had an initial IPO of an amount of 2.5 billion. So the momentum since STRC's inception is clearly reflected as well on last week's trading volumes. And maybe here again, I can show a chart of the daily traded volumes from last week, going from August 4th to August 8th. So that was Monday to Friday. And I mean, it's very clear. You can see that STRC's trading volume is somewhere between 5 to 7 times higher than any other preferreds, right? So you can see Monday to Thursday, it was somewhere in between 120 million and 140 million US dollars. Friday seemed like a slower day, which was probably also due to the price action. MSTR was also a bit down on the day. However, the price for STRC remains stable. It's currently sitting at 97 US dollars as of Friday evening. But in general, the price action for STRC, in my opinion, has been doing quite well, especially if you think about it that 9 days ago or 9 trading days ago, the price action or the price was 90 US dollars on its IPO day. So quite a nice surge there. And yeah, you can see that the other preferreds in terms of trading volume are just nowhere near STRC. So STRC is clearly knocking all of the other preferreds out of the park right here. Even with the uptick in price and trading volume, I doubt that STRC's ATM was triggered this week, especially given that the price stayed under 99 US dollars. As mentioned, it was sitting at 97 on Friday evening. But you never know with Michael Saylor. He's always very good to smash that buy button and also as quickly as he can. So you never know what what to expect from Sailor, right? So now, if we start looking a little bit into the volumes, not only of the preferreds, but also the common share. And here I present to you also a chart where you see MSTR added. And clearly, MSTR is still or the main traded instrument. So even though STRC's trading volumes is somewhere between 5 and 7 times higher than the other preferreds, as mentioned before, it's still just a little blip compared to MSTR's trading volume. And here, I think as a result, it will take time before STRC can overtake MSTR as strategy's primary cash generating instrument. So if you're thinking we're going higher, I think you're correct, but not just yet. Maybe just as a quick reminder that even with the other Bitcoin treasuries buying Bitcoin, strategy is or was the main buyer, and they were eclipsing all the other Bitcoin treasuries combined by far. So without strategy making those huge purchases, there is still a huge void that needs to be filled, at least on the short term. And with the ATM guidance from Strategy's Q2 earnings call, they're unlikely to hit the MSCR ATM until we see at least an MNAV of above 2 or even 4. They mentioned in their Q2 earnings call that they would not hit the ATM below 2.5 MNAV, and that above 2.5 to 4, they would hit it opportunistically, and that they would use the ATM actively only above MNAV of 4. So unless there is an uptick in the MNAV, we probably won't see any MSTR ATM being hit in the near future. So coming back on STRC, once the price reaches the desired 99 to 101 USDs, Strategy should be able to ramp up its issuance fairly quickly, especially compared to the other preferreds traded volume, right? As shown in the previous charts. And I also suspect that Strategy should be able potentially to hit the ATM at more than 2.5% of the traded volume if STRC's pricing starts to run up above 101 USD quickly. And the reason is basically that their goal is to keep the price stable. So this brings me to my next point, which is probably the most valuable in the whole piece here. And maybe before I continue, I just want to give a few quick reminders again on STRC's dividends. So they are currently sitting at 9%. They are adjustable on a monthly basis. They are also depending on the SOFR or secured overnight financing rate. And this rate is linked to the Fed rate. So what would be very interesting to see is once we reach the 99 to 101 US dollar price that Strategy wants for STRC, what happens if Sailor hikes the dividend to say 9.25% or 9.5% or even more at the beginning to create further demand and be able to hit even harder STRC's ATM? So as mentioned, I don't think they would have any trading volume limit like the one that they have for the common stock, right, of 2.5% because of the pricing mechanisms of STRC. And all of this without mentioning that it's always more likely that rate cuts would or will be coming in September. So if the rate cuts come in from the Fed, these products suddenly become much, much more valuable, especially if rates on the dividend are not decreased or at least not decreased immediately. It's going to be super, super interesting to see how strategy decides to implement their dividend strategy for STRC, because that's what's going to drive the price. And by that, I also mean that's what's going to drive how much issuance they can do of these products. I mean, the Sailor could ramp up the ATM in no time if he decides to keep those high dividends. So maybe take a moment or two to think about that one, because if that's the case, we could see STRC's issuance take over MSTRs in no time. So even though we saw that it was a blip in the chart before, I do believe that with this dividend strategy that they could implement, the STRC's issuance could overtake MSTRs probably before year end, and that's extremely bullish on the midterm. I would say. So if that happens, we will have an engine gobbling up Bitcoin without ever even touching the common stock, at least not under 4 MNAV. Okay, I'll let you sit on that one for a little bit. And yeah, now if you digested the bit of information, let's move on. There is another catalyst that could come along to fill the void on the Bitcoin buys, and that's another product similar to STRC. All right, so here I want to show briefly the slide with the seniority and volatility of the securities from Strategy. So this slide is from their Q2 earnings call as well, where here they show the different instruments and where they stand on the volatility and seniority level. And we can see a wide space at the base, meaning where there is low seniority and low volatility. I put an orange square on this little section right there to highlight the void. And this was also actually highlighted by some of the members of True North. I cannot remember who mentioned that it would be really cool to see a product like STRC, but instead of being with monthly dividends, it would be daily dividends. And to be frank, I would see that coming too, right? That makes sense. And probably that product would sit somewhere in the orange square, somewhere in there. So it would be probably low seniority and low volatility as well. So if there is another instrument like STRC that comes, this would be amazing news. Strategy could ramp up their Bitcoin shopping spree very quickly, because now you're taking the load off STRC as well. So now you have potentially two instruments with the same caliber that are generating cash for Strategy. And this would also unlock a different set of investors, right, that could be interested in this specific instrument, meaning fresh new capital flowing without competing too much with the other preferreds. So I cannot wait to see what strategy comes up on this front. Okay, time to start wrapping this up. Quick summary. So expect smaller Bitcoin purchases from Strategy in the coming weeks until STRC's ATM is fully ramped up, unless, again, we see a spike in the MNAV on the common share. And by spike, I mean at least above 2.5 MNAV. Or if Strategy comes up with new products in the meantime, which wouldn't be surprising. I mean, Strategy moves very quickly with their products, I believe, and I wouldn't be surprised to see something come up in the coming weeks. While it's a bit early to say if STRC will be the iPhone moment for Strategy, the activity and daily volumes and also the price action suggests it could very well become just that. And especially if you start thinking about how the price can be manipulated, if I may say it so that way, to Strategy's benefit. So this product is really incredible, not only for the investor or the customer, but also on Strategy's side, right? I do expect that Saylor will come up with ways to gobble up as much Bitcoin as quickly and as much as humanly possible. So again, I expect news in the coming days from Strategy. And all in all, I think STRC and the volume we're seeing is super bullish for Strategy and the overall Bitcoin market. So yeah, we're going higher. Thanks for listening. See you on the next one. Cheers, everyone.
How many chairs are you sitting on right now?